Good morning. Welcome to Time Talks, Anthony. Today we're going to have a type of conversation. For those that are new to the channel, make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about understanding the impact of sleep on mental health, why rest is crucial for your emotional wellness, right? I want us to take in consideration for those out there struggling with sleep. It isn't just about being tired. It really does affect everything, your mood, your thoughts, your stress levels, even those relationships as well, right? So when you're sleep deprived, small problems really become overwhelming and your mind never feels like it's settled. It has that balance, right? So sleep can be something that we can rebuild, something that we can really improve on, and it really is essential. We're going to be able to talk about that today, right? So stick with me, grow with me, and we're going to be able to navigate throughout this. So just diving right into our first segment, I want to be able to talk about what sleep's main role in regards to the mental health, right? So the definition of, what we got going on in regards to sleep is a biological process essential for cognitive function, right? So the brain, it's going to be able to heal the brain, helping us learn all those type of things like that. Emotional regulation, it has memory formation. In addition to that, sleep recovery, like I said, it's going to be able to heal all the things that we got going on, the things in our day, right? It's going to be able to kind of process, right? Next is going to be the sleep emotion cycle. So we got to be able to take that in consideration, that poor sleep heightens stress, emotional instability, and more trouble sleeping, and it becomes a cycle, right? So this is something that we got to be able to take in consideration, and why we may feel the way we feel. Or someone's asking like, what's your mood from 1 to 10? You may just keep feeling a 3, a 2, and things are just not in alignment. You don't really feel healthy because you're sleep deprived. So really got to take in consideration, what's really going on. Next is going to be the common sleep disruptors, right? So we have stress and worry, irregular schedules, late night screen use. So you got to take in consideration all the phones, the TV, got the TV on, caffeine and overstimulation. So what are we putting in our bodies that affect us? Underlying mental health conditions as well. So we got to take that in consideration. For those out there that have a diagnosis, they know their situation, they have their discussions with their doctor. These things do kind of impact everybody differently. In addition to that too, let's talk about what sleep problems aren't, right? So they're not a sign of laziness. It's not a sign of weakness. This is just your brain is overwhelmed, and we got to be able to figure this thing out, right? So that's why it's really important for people to advocate for themselves. You recognize something's not really in alignment. Let's really get this checked out. Let's have a professional assess us. Next segment, let's dive into the science of sleep. So why it matters more than we really think. Like I said, like, if think about it, we're working so hard. It's almost like we working so hard, right? And it's like doing so much. We need to, it's almost like a car. It's hot. It's been running all day. It needs to rest. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to go to the little pit stop, rest, oil change, do what you got to do. But for a human being, we need to rest. There's no way around it. Naps do help. We got a little power nap, but we need quality sleep. But pulling it back, in regards to brain restoration, we got to take in consideration during deep sleep, the brain clears the waste, chemical balances, and also too, it resets the emotional circuits, right? So we're able to restart, And think about it, When you wake up from a nap, you wake up from sleep, how do you feel? I'm assuming you feel refreshed, but this is why we need our sleep to be able to have that brain restoration. Next is going to be that emotional regulation. This is something I'll be pushing because there's going to be strenuous moments where things happen in our life. You got family, you got friends, you have, different people trying to play with your emotions and trying to get you off of your alignment. And this is something that's going to be able to help you with that mindfulness and keep you stagnant because you know who you are, right? So emotional regulation, the amygdala in regards to the emotional center, right? So it becomes overreactive when sleep deprived, increases the stress and mood swings. So when we don't have our sleep, we're not going to be able to really think properly. Our brain it feels inadequate. Everything's an override. We have more stress. We feel antsy. So we got to be able to take that in consideration because that is something that someone's able to see that you're sleep deprived and push your buttons, and then you're able to pop and burst, and there's consequences for our actions, etc., etc. But I think that is really important for, like I said, us to take our sleep serious. Moving forward, is that going to be that memory and clarity, right? So REM sleep, so REM helps process those experiences, organize those memories, and stabilize emotional reactions. So I want to take that in consideration as well. Like I said, that healing in the mind. We also want to take in consideration that it's not your fault. So sleep disruptions are often, biological responses to stress, not personal failure, right? So don't be blaming yourself. Have self-compassion. Be nice to yourself. Understand that this is not, it's happening to you, right? And we have to be able to assess. But at the same time, too, this is not a personal failure. So don't take that to the head, literally. So I want us to take in consideration in regards to a quote is your emotional balance depends on rest in regards to your brain and what your brain receives. So we have to take that in consideration. But moving on to our next segment, I want to be able to talk about rebuilding a healthy sleep. So tools and techniques. So if you got to this point right here, this is really going to be able to help us, you know what I mean, like gain the essential skills that we need to be able to maintain sleep. So let's dive into it. So let's talk about sleep hygiene, right? We got to be able to have a consistent schedule, right? A dark, cool room. No screen time or screen use before bed. We gotta be able to have like a time where we're able to kind of just let our body kind of twine down, right? A nice little regimen, and calming prep sleep routine. So do what you have to do. Some people have like, what's it called? Like this, like melatonin sprays and different things like that, like little nice neutral things in the air. Nice, like I said, cool room, humidifier. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do for you. Everybody's different, right? Some people don't even need all these extra things. They just need quiet. You feel me? But we need to find a sleep hygiene, a good routine for us to be able to maintain proactive sleep. Next is going to be CBT, so which regards to that cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, right? So it helps reshape thought patterns to be able to, instead of having that nighttime anxiety, this is going to be able to help us have that more of that mindfulness, right? So knowing how to give our mind and our body a nice balance so we're able to transition. Next is going to be mindfulness and relaxation. We have to be able to find techniques that are going to be able to help, quiet our mental noise, right? So reducing the nighttime tension, whatever is going on, we got to be able to find a nice area time for us to really kind of just get ourselves balanced, right? And just kind of just simmer down from the day and allow our body to really get into that motion, right? In regards to mindfulness and that relaxation. Next is going to be limit stimulants, right? So we got to take consideration out there for those people that drink coffee, right? So limit the caffeine if possible, heavy meals, and that late night work. You know what I mean? Try your best to do breaks and organize your day, right? You can't be doing stuff too late where it's like, you're trapping yourself into sleep, right? And things are going to be inadequate for that. So try your best to, be more aware of your limits. Next is going to be medication. If recommended, talk to your doctor, make sure, things are in alignment for you, right? So in some cases, short-term medical support could be able to help reset sleep patterns. So like I said, I really want you to speak to a professional, speak to a doctor, but medication is also something that could be recommended for some people out there. Next is going to be professional support. So sleep specialists, there's therapists that can be able to guide us throughout this long-term recovery. Good things take time. Let's take that into consideration, right? So don't be hard on yourself, like I said, but there are proactive professionals out there to be able to help us with anything, damn near, right? So I want to take that in consideration. Like I said, there's sleep specialists. So, you don't have to force yourself to sleep. You just need to create a condition for it, right? So I want us to take that in consideration. We have to look at ourselves, right? We got to look at our environment, look at the things that we're doing. Are we eating heavy? Are we always on the phone? Are we doing things that are not, giving our mind the ability to get into that relaxation mode for that proactive sleep? So just everybody's different, but we got to really find time to wind down. Next segment, we're going to be talking about everyday strategies for better sleep. So I want us to talk about, like I said, that routine and structure. You got to be able to find a stable rhythm. We're able to strengthen your emotional stability in regards to this routine for your sleep. Next is going to be cut back on overthinking, right? So notice, the mental spirals in regards to night. Things are shifting gently back into something that calms, for you, right? So just, don't overthink, just get yourself where you need to be and make things happen proactively for yourself. Label the feeling in regards to if you're saying you're stressed out, you feel unsafe, do something that's going to be able to reduce the anxiety, right? You call it, see it, make something happen. Try to be a little bit more solution-based for yourself, right? And like I said, advocate if needed, right? There's professional specialists, therapists, and real professionals to be able to help us out. Next is going to be track your triggers, right? So if you notice anything that affects you, I want you to be able to take that into consideration. Get yourself a notebook as necessary. We have our phones with the notepad in it as well, but you want to proactively try to note these things, any meals, stress, screen, naps, anything that's dysregulating you, write these things down. Even if they're working for you, write them down. It doesn't hurt. Next is going to be build that support, right? So share your sleep struggles with trusted friends, support groups. Talk, like I said, like a professional. So really just try to there's other people out there that's maybe going through something that is similar to you, but you'll never know if you don't build that support. So, talk about it, advocate for yourself, really really embrace what you're experiencing. I want you to be able to have that confidence for yourself because we want to be able to improve our ways and improve our sleep. Next segment, let's dive right into hope and restoration in regards to, rediscovering peace through that sleep. Like I said, I really want to take in consideration good things take time. We gotta be kind to ourselves, but we really do need our sleep. But we gotta really be able to, like I said, work on that restoration with hope and believing that we can get what we want. In regards to progress, in regards to coming slowly, we got to take that in consideration that improving sleep takes practice. We're going to be able to have setbacks, and that's going to be normal, right? But as long as we're improving our ways of doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, things will improve gradually. Also, too, there is resilience through the routine, right? So the more that we're consistent, the better things will be when it comes to strengthening our habits, in regards to that emotional resilience as well, right? So things are going to start to get better. We also can take into consideration that there is rediscover joy, right? So we're resetting ourselves, we're resetting our, sleep, our energy, our hobbies, relationships, and creativity. Things will be able to get better when we have that proactive energy. In addition to this, like I said too, is that you are not alone. I want us to take into consideration that there's millions of other people out here that struggle with sleep, and millions that are recovering with their sleep, right? So we have to take that in consideration. Rest doesn't mean that you're weak. Once again, it means that you're healing. We're finding proactive ways to able to improve our ways to be able to get us the sleep quality that we need. So I really want us, like I said, you need to be able to reclaim your rest. You got to be able to, like I said, get yourself into a state where you're able to have, that balance, that mindfulness, accept what's really going on. And like I said, what are we going to do about this, right? The screen time, the caffeine, what are we putting in our body, the time that we're going to sleep, right? The hours, we got to be doing more tracking. We got to be more accountable to what's going on, right? So your sleep doesn't define you. It can be rebuilt with that patience. Like I said, like self-compassion, I want to be able to take in consideration healthier habits. Like what do we put in our body, right? Everything that goes into your body, even lotion, goes into your bloodstream, right? So I want to take in consideration, like, your body is valuable. You got to take care of it. You got to love it. You got to cherish it, right? And you got to also have like a gentler approach to yourself. So, your nights become a place where you're able to heal again. You also are able to reduce that stress and overall strengthen learns by that reset. So if you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for thriving with me. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed and get some rest. You heard?